Hello, ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome again. It's Dylan here, and today we are going to be producing this, which is a very simple thing. It is not difficult, it is just basic things you should get to do when learning your tool or Pixellab itself. So, if you're new to the channel, do well to click on that red subscribe button for me. It's absolutely free, and also help me click on the like button and share this video with all your friends. It helps grow the channel and also so that I can bring more content to you and you learn how to make things that looks very great to the eye. Now we can see here we are at the banks, and so I decided to make this little design, which is not so perfect, but it is beginner friendly and every beginner can do this. So let's get started with this. Okay, first things first, let's get back to a zero screen here, and we want to click on this and click on image size. So you want to click on this three dots here and go on image size, or maybe you can just move around and search for your size of the image. But let's just click on that and click on image size here, and then increase the width to 1500 pixels, 1500 pixels, and then go ahead and reduce the height to, let's give it maybe 400 pixel. Now let's give it 900 pixels for the height, and here we will have something that looks like that on the screen. And I'll go ahead and keep this text here. First thing, let's go to the background tab here, and then when we click on background, we click on okay guys, there will be an image I'll be using. Let's click from image from gallery. Now this image you can download it on Google by clicking on beaches, look for beach, or maybe, oh sorry, so many things there, because I do use I do play PS a lot, but this is the image right here, and you can download this on Google or just join the Telegram group. The links will be on the description, or the WhatsApp group. And also you can also see this image in the WhatsApp group as training, but you can go ahead and download any image, just what you like on the internet. Just Google it and download it. And now we click on OK, and we have a visually pleasant background, and half of the work is already done. And so what you need to do is edit this text right here. Remember, this text, we need to come to the E part and click on edit. Remember, this is to help you understand more what Pixellab can do. So when you get used to the tool, we'll get into more professional designs. But let's write this banks, and once you're done that, click on OK, and here we have banks right here, and you can scale that up. It's already looking good, and you want to give it some fonts, so you go down to font and click on this AB right here, and I'll go to the recent font I use, and let's say maybe want this font right here, the downcom. Remember, you can also download new fonts, but you can go to fonts and find the one which really looks pleasant for you. This one may be good, this one may be good. It just depends on what you want to use, and whatever, just choose it. Like, let's take this one. Okay, now banks right here, and even though this is not the font I'll use, I think let me just change this a little bit. Give it some font I would like to work with. Banks, this banks looks a little bit better, so this will be a nice font. And first things first, I want to rotate this because it looks just straightforward. It's like something on screen. I want to rotate it to have a feel as if it has also it looks on the perspective of the camera, because the camera looks to be going that way into the sea there, and so that is how I want this thing to go. So I'm just going to scroll down on rotate 3D, and we want to rotate it on the y-axis so that it bends. So I'll go the y-axis. Now you want to give it positive values to go like it's going into the sea right there, and so we're on +7, but you can give it more, you can go more, and as you go more it starts getting distorted, so you can just give it maybe, let's say, +8. It looks good right now, and this color is not so great, and I want to change this color. I want to give it a gradient color. but first I want to make this thing 3D. So I'm going to scroll down to 3D text and give it some 3D. And so it looks 3D now, but it's too thick. As you can see, it's too thick, and we can reduce it by going to this depth here is 5, and if you increase it, you see it becomes even thicker. And if we maybe click on oblique here and see how thick it is, you see it's super thick. So you want to reduce this, and as you reduce, you see that. So naturally I always put it on 1 or 2. 2 looks really thick, and that's good. So we can bring it back to this level, and then it's okay. We have now something we can work with. The next thing is to change the color of this text. So I'm going to go ahead and add what I call textures. So you come down to textures and click on texture here and click on the blue icon, and now search for the image you want to use as textures. Now I've got so many images here, but I can maybe use quite a few as one. Okay, I have my student who actually sent me this design right here. It should be on the group right now. So shout out to you for having this design. We are going to use your image, your design chicken image, as a texture for this. So I'll just have to pull this up here and use that little part, and that will be okay. I click on OK and I have something like that. So now this image is looking good, so I can go ahead and scale this out to look the way I want to. And so it's looking good. And remember, if you want these images, you're going to find a link to the Telegram group or the WhatsApp group, or you can go ahead and just download it from the internet. It will be, you just download something different from the internet, and you can scale that up to fit what you want. And sometimes if the scaling is not good, you try to maintain the enable ratio there, then try to scale it, because it gives you a particular ratio, and you can go ahead and use that scaling for it. Now if this looks like what you want to, it's okay. It gives like a little light to the text, which is great, but it's just like so much. It's not the way I wanted it, so it's really, so maybe I'll go back to this image right here and go back and search for that very image and try to get it this time around a little bit. Maybe let's just give it some color, more color there, or maybe more of this dark color. Yes, let's give it that and give it that. And so let's click on this. Okay, now we have less shiny colors, and so you can just go ahead and click on enable that to maintain your particular ratio, and just play with it till you have something good to work with. If it looks like what you want to end up with, you can go ahead and end up with what you want. So this looks maybe okay for me. You can end any way you want. Let's say you have something like that, and you want to end here, and so we have this. Now the next thing is that this text does not really look like it's on top of the water, because water does not really cover some part of this text. Remember, if it's in water, water is going to cover some part of it, and that's what we want to do. So you go down to your toolbar here and look for mask, which is this option. You click on it, and it's going to bring down the mask tool, and you just want to control this a little bit so that it takes the down part of this text, and you just control it there. You can control that so that it takes the down part of this text. I can pull this way, and so that this one goes here, and you can then control these things right here to make them straight. As you keep working with them, you get used to working with things like this, but it also helps in cutting and masking. So it's going to help cover all of this part of the text. There I have something already, which is good enough, and so I can go ahead and, let's say, I accept the mask option. Let's say okay, we now click on enable, and you see that part disappeared, and if you click on OK, then you see it now feels like it's in water, like water covers some parts, and that is now feeling good. But it's not all done, because this thing is in water, so there ought to be what we call reflection. So we click on this, and go down to reflection, which is down here, and once we click on that, we enable it, and now we can see some reflections on the water. But you want to increase the vertical offset so that it feels like the reflection is far downward. And so because when you're far away, you see the reflection far downward, and that looks marvelous. It looks like now this thing is interacting with the environment. There's a reflection down there, and this is so good. And I think we are done here. You can also go and pull this tab. You see this magic icon here. It's called the magic icon. I did not introduce this at the beginning, but you can use this to maybe change the contrast or brightness of the way things look. Like if we go down to brightness, we can go ahead and change the brightness of the image and make it more cinematic, and this looks really good. Here looks like something else is lighting the text, and this is cinematic. Great. And if you're happy with that, you can allow it like that, or you can just make it look really perfect if you want to. It's all up to your taste. Contrast is by just increasing this, and depending on what you want to end up with, you can really go crazy, but it always keeps something so realistic. That is it. If you want to make something non-realistic, it's okay like that, but realistic is okay. You want to create something that when you want to create something which blow people's minds away and not something that really looks bad. And so we can go ahead and increase the contrast of the cloud a little bit, even though it looks like the light is coming. It's harsh and dark, which is it's fun. I think I like it, but you can go ahead and increase noise, but I don't really like increasing noise to the image, except you really want to maybe add some fog into the image. Then you can go ahead and put some noise and enhance, or you can go ahead with some alpha. But alpha here, it's only help in a little quantity, and you can enhance it a little bit. Um, so on, just what you want. But I don't want noise. You can go ahead and put some strips. These strips are really things you just put into the image. You make it look better, but here it's not going to help us. So this is it. You can put some vignette, which is actually like a loophole, or maybe a separating thing that separates things together, like vignette. You put it like that, and you just go ahead and change the way these things look. So it's up to you what you can do. So guys, we now have something really pleasant, looking good, and I'll see you in the next video.